Are you actually kidding me? Another Sadako movie? It's 2023. How many films can you make about this poor girl? Let her rest in her well, for the love of God. Holy sh...
How? This is actually absolutely and insanely dumb. Just silly willy. Overreacted acting, a stupid ploy for a ridiculous plot, caricatures of characters, and the credits. Oh, the credits. This is what Sadako has become. A shell of what it used to be. Pure and unrestrained entertainment. It's no doubt a film to destroy all films. I'm not even sure if I should love it or just feel shame for it.
Can somebody send me the link to the Sadako video? Because I just want to die after watching this. Takashi was cute though.
More like Sadako BS.
These are all reviews for the latest in the Ring/Sadako franchise. In only 1 year, it's managed to sink all the way to the bottom of most people's Ring ranking lists. It's become known as one of the worst entries in the franchise. My name is Duncan Shea, and today we're going to find out what went wrong with Sadako DX. Sadako DX is the DXist entry into the Sadako and Ring franchise, being the 4th Sadako movie and the 9th Ring movie in the Japanese series. This one mostly ignores the continuity of the previous films, except for the original Ring, and maybe you can make a case for Rasen too. Since the events of Ring, Sadako has only gotten stronger, with her curse now taking effect in 24 hours instead of 7 days. And she's racking up a higher death toll than ever before. DX centers on Ayaka Ichijo, a girl with 200 IQ and no patience for the supernatural. Due to her notoriety as a genius, Ayaka gets put on a TV show with a renowned psychic named Master Kenshin, who challenges her to solve Sadako's curse scientifically. And after Ayaka's sister watches the curse tape, her only option is to debunk it and save her sister's life. Along the way, she meets Oji Maeda, a wannabe love guru whose ex-girlfriend was killed by Sadako. The two of them are assisted by the mysterious shut-in Kanden, who maintains contact with them over voice calls. Can Ayaka learn the secret of the curse tape in time to save her sister, or will her own skepticism lead her to her family's collapse? By now, I guess I could be called a Ring expert, seeing as I've seen every single entry in both the American and Japanese Ring franchises, and even the single entry into the Korean Ring franchise. But still, I didn't jump at the chance to see Sadako DX. First of all, what even is DX? I still don't know. Director's Cut? Gale of Darkness? What does this acronym mean? Secondly, while I'm more than willing to go see a Kamen Rider or Ultraman movie in theaters unsubtitled, I'm a bit more hesitant with Ring since there's more exposition and it's much more dialogue heavy. So when it started showing in theaters in Osaka, I passed. Cut to 1 year later, and I realize it's time to start working on J-Horror Month videos. And there hasn't been a new Ju-On or Ring thing since, well, DX. And it's understandable that the output has kind of slowed down in recent years, given that this is the 14th overall movie based on Sadako and Ring when you include every single franchise. Nearly every single thing that you could think of has been done with the Ring and Sadako. So the question really is, did we need another Ring sequel? Well, to answer that, let's break down what DX does differently. Ayaka, our lead protagonist, is fundamentally different than other leads in the series. She's played by Fuka Koshiba, who you might know as the live-action Kiki in the live-action Kiki's Delivery Service movie, but who I know better as the lead in the criminally underrated Yokai Share House, which features amazing Gekimation sequences by my man, Uji-cha. Ayaka is a genius with an above 200 IQ. She's also a born skeptic and quite possibly intentionally autistically coded. She's like a sort of science detective, which kind of makes her perfect for the sort of horror mystery that Ring is. And just listing off those traits already makes her stand out amongst forgettable main characters in movies like Sadako, Sadako vs. Kayako, or Sadako 3D2. Basically, she stands out against anything that wasn't the original or Ring Zero.
呪い殺されるぐらいならこっちから死んでやる。死ぬなら他で死んでよ。
そこから飛び降りたら痛いですよ。地上10メートルから自由落下した場合、落下速度は時速約50キロ。あなたの体重を60キロと仮定すると、衝撃力は約20トン。土砂を積んだダンプカーで押しつぶされる力と同じです。
And I'll be honest, while I did have to look up her name for this review, I think I'm still always going to remember which movie had the genius 200 IQ girl that spends her time debunking curses. And the supporting cast is pretty good too. Hiroyuki Ikeuchi plays the fraud psychic Master Kenshin and is pretty much over the top with his performance. He's absolutely the type of character that you love to hate.
人気者は大変だね。求められてるキャラクターに応えなければならない。IQ200
IQ200 なんてただの数値です。私はただ自分が興味のあることにトライアル&エラーをしているだけで。
試行錯誤か。
そこから行動に移せるか、一歩踏み出せるかどうかが大切だと思っています。
演じてるわけじゃないと。
謙信さんは演じてるんですか？
いや参ったな。いやストレートですがすがしいよ。まあ私という存在自体がエンターテインメントみたいなものだからね。
先生、それを言ったらおしまいですよ。
いいんだよ、事実だからね。
One of Master Kenshin's unwitting marks, Oji Maeda, is played by Kazuma Kawamura. Kawamura is possibly the most famous for being a member of the J-pop group The Rampage from Exile Tribe, and he's also from Osaka. Oji is dumb, pathetic, and incompetent, which makes him a surprisingly funny character. Despite being responsible for his girlfriend's death at the hands of Sadako, he immediately tries to woo Ayaka almost as soon as he meets her. This probably isn't the most endearing trait that Maeda could have, but he's such a loser that it's actually really funny to watch him fumble around like this.
これでよく王子様を名乗れますね。
人の美しさは心で決まるんだよ。
再生してください。
In fact, all three of these characters, and later Mario Koroba's germophobic hikikomori character Kanden, are really fun to watch play off each other. Ayaka's innate skepticism works against Maeda's naive gullibility. Kenshin's sleaze and manipulative practices add some spice to the mix of everyone's dynamic. All these personalities are so amped up that they're basically cartoon characters, and that would normally be a problem for the more serious entries in the Ring franchise. But DX is something that Ring never was, that no entry in the Ring franchise ever was. DX is a horror comedy.
これが呪いのビデオのコピーね。
おお、こんなでかいんだ昔のビデオって。
Now, I had no idea that DX was a straight-up horror comedy film when I started it, but after looking into the production, it actually does make a little bit more sense. The director, Hisashi Kimura, has mostly worked on TV in the past. Not necessarily all comedies, but bear with me for a moment here. The film's screenwriter, Yuya Takahashi, is also more familiar with TV, but in a very different way. Takahashi helmed 3 Kamen Rider series, X-Aid 01, and the latest entry, Geats. While not outright comedies, all three of them have more than their share of comedic moments and elements. And after learning about the strong TV background that both the writer and director had, something clicked together for me. Sadako DX is exactly as funny as your average J-drama comedy. And now knowing that, you'll know whether this film is for you. And as for me, I kinda liked it. Don't get me wrong, there's funnier movies out there. And outside of a few lines, DX's humor is far from parody or meta commentary. It's less Scream and more Shaun of the Dead, if that makes any sense. Sadako is still Sadako. She's still a threat that's out to get the main characters. It's just that our main characters are a funnier group than we've had before. So what it really comes down to is whether or not you like Japanese comedies. And not like Tanpopo, but like Japanese TV teen drama comedies. And maybe I just have no taste, but honestly, I don't mind the occasional corny J-drama comedy. Still, people seem to bounce off this movie very hard, and I have a few guesses as to why. Sadako DX traded its scares for laughs, and while that might have succeeded with me, it might have scared off some of the other Ring purists out there. Over the course of this movie, 2 named characters die on screen, which is pretty low for any horror movie. But at the same time, Ring was never really about the body count. Sadako herself kind of isn't in this movie. DX takes the more novel, accurate approach of having the curse be an actual virus that's moving from host to host, making this into one of the more secular Ring outings that we've had, with supernatural elements at an all-time low. Usually, this spells death for a Ring movie, as we've seen with Rasen's approach. But here it works because our lead is a skeptic, and in the end, we do want to see her be right.
これは呪いよ。謙信先生が言ってた通り。
いや、多分ウイルス感染による幻覚だと思う。
あれが？
ウイルスに感染しても体内の免疫機能が働いてすぐには発症しないの。24時間だんだんウイルスが増えていって最後には発症する。その過程で身近な人が貞子になって近づいてくるという幻覚を引き起こしてるんじゃないかな。
But if you're only here to see, well, I don't know, the title character, well, then you might be more than a little disappointed. Most of the time that Sadako is on screen, she's under the guise of people's dead relatives, who slowly approach the victims. It's kind of like It Follows, except much less unsettling or scary, and occasionally actually just played for laughs. The curse tape has also been changed too, and it's one of the changes that I'm less happy with. In entries past, it was always interesting to see what imagery each director used when making their own curse tape. Some entries would be close to the original, while others would be entirely new spins. And this one is just a POV shot of Sadako climbing out of the well, and once she reaches the top, it's revealed that she's outside of wherever you watched the video. For me, this one was just a little bit too bland, although it did make for a great moment after the credits. Still, it's a new take on things, and it fits the tone and vibe of this movie perfectly. But it's not something that I would expect the series to go back to after this. The rules are also changed here. Similar to Sadako vs. Kayako, the tape takes effect within 24 hours. But unlike that movie, DX actually uses it to shake up the status quo for this entry. No longer is it as simple as just showing the tape to someone else to be safe. The rules are different, which means instead of waiting around for someone to break a curse that we already know the answer to, we're actually following along with our main character as she solves the mystery. After 2019 Sadako, I honestly thought there wasn't going to be a way to shake up or change the mystery in these movies, that we would be stuck rehashing the same mystery and the same plot points over and over again. However, to my surprise, DX not only didn't do that, it did something completely new. But ultimately, I understand the purist perspective. Why make all these arbitrary changes? Why even call this movie a Ring movie at all? I think it might be a matter of expectations. If you go in knowing that this is a Ring comedy, that it's taking a pseudo-scientific approach to the mythos, then maybe you'll come out liking it a lot more. But really, can I blame anyone for going into a movie called Sadako DX and being disappointed that it wasn't scary and lacked its title character? That's why the only thing I would have changed about this movie is the name. I would have called it Sadako XD, the funny one. Want to know where I would rank each and every one of the original Ring movies? Or do you just want to keep up to date with the movies I watch and possibly spoil yourself on what movie I'm going to review next? Well, follow me on Letterboxd. I follow everyone who follows me. This isn't a sort of advertisement thing. I am just desperate for more people to hear my movie opinions and for me to see and judge other people's movie opinions. That's it. This is the start of J-Horror Month, maybe? It's probably going to be the start of J-Horror Month. I'm filming these all out of order. But this one's going to be big. This one's going to be pretty good. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for whatever else we got this month.